We've learned more about Tyler Robinson, the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. Here's the Republican governor of Utah, Spencer Cox. Take a look.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm that. I know that has been reported and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening, and is working with investigators right now.
I'm Rich Lowry of National Review, and what we've learned so far adds to the overwhelming sense that this country has a deviant problem. Our culture, even our government, tolerates and even encourages bizarre obsessions and freakish subcultures. Robinson was reportedly dating his trans roommate, going through a so-called transition from male to female, and there are indications that both were into furry culture. Now, I'm not saying fury. Not fury like this.
Six. Look at these two. I want all.
Certainly not fury like this.
600.
No, more like this. Or this. Furry culture involves people dressing up in animal costumes. And no, we're not thinking about the Oregon duck.
Hell yeah.
Now that guy, presumably at the end of the game, takes his costume off, goes home, and has a beer. In furry culture, we're talking about something that's much weirder, in some cases, even very dark. You have people whose identity, let's put a pin on that word because we're going to come back to it, is caught up in this animal persona. They take on a so-called fursona and take it quite literally. Check out this Jesse Waters interview from a while ago with a raccoon.
All right, David, how old are you?
I'm 32.
And what are you supposed to be dressed up as here?
Well, currently, I'm a raccoon.
And why are you dressed up as a raccoon?
Well, isn't it fun?
Sometimes there's a sexual element as well to the furry subculture, which makes it even more disturbing. There are indications that Robinson might have had this interest himself. Certainly he was aware of it, and for evidence of that, you need look no further than the engravings on the bullet casings used in the assassination. Robinson allegedly engraved on one of the bullet casings the words, quote, "Notices bulge OWO, what's this, question mark, close quote." Now, for most of us, that's meaningless. For most of us, that is utter gibberish, but this has meaning in the furry culture and in the trans culture and in the extremely online culture. It refers to, say, flirting with someone you think is a cat, and then you notice a bulge, or flirting with someone you think is a woman, and then you notice a bulge. The OWO denotes flirtation, and this was on the spent casing of the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was killed with a bullet whose casing had a furry or trans meme on it. It's unbelievable. Robinson allegedly engraved other anti-fascist and internet memes on other bullet casings. There's an element in which this hideous act was meant to be a joke to those who are in the know, was a nod and wink to other people in these subcultures, which just speaks to a profound, soul-crushing nihilism at work here. It used to be that the mechanisms of our culture acculturated people into things like this. Or this. Now, there are obviously problems with those youth cultures too, but they weren't unfathomably perverse. And I think part of what has happened here is that we've reached the end of the line after our elite culture for decades denigrating the normal and celebrating the transgressive. And you can come up with all sorts of examples of this across all sorts of realms. If you just look at movies, 1970s, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you have the mental patients who are portrayed as the rational ones who probably should be running the asylum. 2017, The Shape of the Water wins an Oscar. A woman has a sexual relationship with some sort of fish and is supposed to be a very great and moving and meaningful thing. We got to a place where we said, you can be any gender you want. There's nothing wrong with that. To the contrary, there's something praiseworthy about that. We are going to affirm your irrational beliefs about yourself and perhaps your psychological disorders. We're not going to tell your parents when you're quote unquote transitioning. We're going to pay for the medical care. We're going to say that anyone who says that there's something wrong or amiss with any of this is a hater who should shut up. And if you can choose your own gender, why can't you choose your own species too? And why wouldn't someone who hears these messages constantly reinforced conclude that Charlie Kirk is a direct threat to people's well-being? He's a hater. He's a fascist. He is prompting people to commit suicide. He has to be stopped. He has to be snuffed out. Look, America's always been a big place with a lot of unusual people, right? Outcasts, dissidents, tinkerers, genius inventors, people who want to be left alone, people who want to be on the soapbox, people who want to worship their God in their own way. And that's fine. In fact, that's part of the glory of America. But this is different. This is something malign. This is something deeply corrupt that we've made cultural space for and actively encouraged. Why don't we hold up the normal kids for a change? Boy meets girl, boy and girl get married, boy and girl have kids. What's wrong with that? And that was a huge part of Charlie Kirk's message, and this heinous act that shot him down in cold blood just emphasizes that that message is more important than ever. I'm Rich Lowry, over and out.